His name's Jim Siegel, and he is a non-beagle. He gonna get down like he was free Meagles, but he ain't got the ring. No, he can't sing, but he's gonna feel like he is obviously the big cat bling with all his wings. He don't even know where he going with the bone wing, but he gonna keep on rumbling, mumbling, bumbling all the time like a fucking pirate crime. Uh. Hardy har har hardy har har har. Hardy har har hardy har har har. Hardy har har hardy har har har. KOGA! 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 Yeah! It ain't my baby, but he can be my little bro. You're my baby. You're my baby. Don't worry about it, bud. You my baby. Oh. What, is it sativa time, Jim? Sativa fucking time. Everyone's a fucking roll and rhyme, but I don't even care because I'm in my underwear and I clean myself with my DoorDash money and a little bit of that YouTube honey. I'm gonna get down with all my fucking bronies. Yeah. Hey, that's what I'm saying every freaking day. Hey. Gaga gaga. Rah, rah, Oliver. Y'all ready? Oh, excuse me. I just ate McDonald's. I just ate McDonald's. And I'm feeling kind of like a Ronald McDonald, but I ain't no cannibal, cause I'm feeling a fool, and I'm gonna eat my face with your fucking disgrace. I said, yeah, that's what we do with fucking Ronald McDonald's, and he fucking with you. He's gonna eat your face, that's with the fucking red paint, and he gonna make you fucking cry all over the place. I just took my medicine. Yeah! Yeah! Woo! Let's look at some pirates. Fuck it. Arr! 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 Cause we are mother boats. Yeah! This guy reminds me of my dad's friends. Before we all go crazy, let's make sure we shove as much crazy shit into our brains, everybody. Who's the third person in here? You better sound off. We got Rar, we got Jim Siegel, the Beagle, and we need to know who the third person is. Now the name of the game for Go KOGA is the highest amount of average view watch time. Why? Because YouTube themselves are killing the channel. How? With their ad revenue. Mind blown. It's just an excuse, like a recluse. When you wanna die for a cold letting loose, but you can't, you won't, you shan't. That's what you do when you wanna feel a fool. Ooh. I'm just feeling good tonight, guys. I'm just feeling good. Look at me. I look like I'm balding. I look like I'm balding like Stephen Halding.
Transportation plan.
Oh, no.
Take a look at this. In my most recent video, I had spoken about these really big earthquakes that had taken place on the 24th in just a span of hours from one another. The most notable one.
Chewbacca, baby. What's that? Chewbacca, baby. Animated GIF. Like that? Like that? A Chewbacca baby? That's funny right there. I'm just going to save that. Let me save it. Yeah. We're going to find new GIFs tonight, guys. New GIFs. Oh, wait. No. We got to rename it. New GIFs for a new era. Look at that. Look at that Chewbacca baby. What the hell? Look. It's like this. If my godson's gonna like Chewbacca baby, I'm gonna be all about that Chewbacca baby. That's all there is to it. We better not teach him dirty dancing yet. Nah, we should. That's a hairy Chewbacca right there. Oh, get it? A hairy Chewbacca? Never mind. Look at that. It looks like Lando Calrissian. What? Who's crying at me? Ninja Cat, you need to go outside? Is that what you're telling me? That's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life right there. That's the funniest thing. Well, good. Give him his own phone. Tell him to keep hitting the hearts. Just look up Chewbacca baby. Look at that. Look at that. I'm Chewbacca baby. Hey, little Eli, that's what you're gonna grow. That's what you're gonna start looking like. The more you look at Chewbacca, the hairier you're gonna get. No, he said. Happy birthday, player! Woo! That's Ric Flair. Say it with me. Ric Flair. Woo! 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 Sorry. Look, it's a baby Yoda. It's Pearl crying at Harvey. Look at that. Look at that. That's old Baka right there. That's an old Chewbacca right there. In case y'all are wondering, it's me, my friend Jim Siegel, my friend Rar, and Jim Siegel's son, Eli Jr. He's named after me. And since they're the only people watching, he wants to see baby Chewbaccas. So, we're going to look at some Chewbaccas. What the hell? What's this Chewbacca? We better not show that. Yeah, we'll save it. That's a pissed off Wookiee right there. Look, that's a little baby in a Chewbacca outfit. Hey, if this is how we get rich, is fucking making Chewbacca sounds for little kids, I'm down for it. Look, it's like, that's a red Baka. That's a red Baka. I've never seen a red Baka before. You know, really, whenever you go down the Chewbacca rabbit hole, there's no limit to your imagination. Hey, look. It's Han Solo and Chewbacca when they were babies. Look at this one. I see skies of blue. Oh no! Roar, 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 roar. Excuse me. What, Pearl? You're not a Chewbacca. Look at this. Look at this. That's not a Chewbacca. That's a meerkat. KOGA Baka. That may be the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. We gotta do a short about that. So I'm live streaming, and my friend Jim Siegel, his son Eli, who's named after me, he likes Chewbacca. Since we don't get views no more, I'm showing him all the Chewbaccas. Well, apparently he's come up with a new nickname for me, KOGA Baka. Wait, we gotta make a picture real quick. Let me make a picture of KOGA Baka, see what it looks like. KOGA Baka. Make a picture of that, please. Ninja and a Chewbacca. Look at this one. Yeah! I ain't gonna lie. If I was a kid, this probably would scare the shit out of me. So, little Elijah's doing good. Wow, that's a weird picture. Look at that. That's Kobaka. That's weird. Hi, Harvey. What, you want to go outside? I ain't got no food for you. Boop. Here. These damn dogs are going to eat me out of house and home. Here, go. Pearl, come here. Come here. Okay, now we do that, take a picture, crop it out. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, no. Boop, boop, boop. We save that. Boop, save that. Boop, 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 boop. Now I go back to YouTube. Boop, boop. And I add a picture of Kobaka at the end. So live streaming, my friend Jim Siegel, his son Eli, his name. Look, apparently, baby Eli, he is obsessed with Chewbacca, Ninja Rat. So, or baby Chewbacca. So, we're pulling up all the baby Chewbaccas we can find right now. Boop. Look at that. No, I'm not doing it. Man, should I do this order? I'll be right back, guys. I'm so sorry. Look at this. Just look at this Chewbacca for a second. I'll be back. I'm so sorry, guys. This is what I got to do now because I don't make enough money from YouTube and I have to DoorDash while YouTubing. I'll be back. Here. Who's here? It's time to get high. This fat chick couldn't drive a half a block to get her fucking McDonald's for $7. So then I did it, and then as I'm going out, she makes sure to lock her door on her car and sound the alarm because I'm so scared for doing a DoorDash so cheap. Are you telling me that baby Chewbacca made baby Eli go to bed? You're welcome, bud. Who's Sadie Lamp Duo? Hey, Sadie Lamp Duo, good to have you here. We was just looking at baby Chewbacca while my friend's kid went to sleep. Now, guess what? It's time for Minutes of Horror. Oh!
Taking place in the Pacific Ring of Fire,
Are you
Japan,
kidding
and
me?
California.
Another
but the most
DoorDash?
horrific ones took place in Venezuela, which of course is not in the Pacific Ring of Fire. The country experienced something they've never experienced before: two twin earthquakes back to back 40 seconds apart that measured 7.2 and 7.5. As of right now, as of this recording,
$12
500
for
people have
16
passed
miles.
away,
Get real,
and
dude.
independent online registries list over 40 to 50,000 people are still missing. These earthquakes hit the country's most densely populated coastal regions, heavily affecting Caracas and La Guaira. So needless to say, a lot of infrastructure...
It's like this. If the money going there and back is half of what I make, like the gas I go there and come back is at half of the total I make, it's not worth for me to do it, so I just don't do it. The rich people try to lowball me, and the people with jobs try to lowball me. I'm like, I'm just not going to do it. The real ones, they'll pay me 10, 15, 20 bucks.
Homes, buildings have been destroyed, completely leveled. But eventually a lot of this infrastructure will be rebuilt, and with that being said, you really can't help but to connect the dots. Just like with over in Maui, when those Maui fires hit, it came out that there was the Healy Mai 2040 long-range transportation plan to turn Maui into this massive smart city, and any of these residents that lost their homes, well, they had to leave for other states so they can afford to live, and it's clear as day these people are not getting any of their properties back. But when it comes to Venezuela, mainly Caracas, I had also said in that video that back in 2013, they had shown us what they will be doing years later through a video game called Call of Duty Ghosts. Not only did they show us the United States forces capturing Nicolas Maduro in that game, but also they had shown us the destruction of Caracas and Caracas being rebuilt into a smart city. Well, take a look at this, and this is coming directly from the World Economic Forum. It's listed as one of their projects, Caracas 2030, and it's just that, turning Caracas into a smart city. Here's the problem, and you can see it right here, their problem statement. The young population in our country needs to actively engage in activities aimed at building a better future so that they can overcome the prevailing negative perception and contribute to the development of the nation. This target group for Caracas 2030 is the young population between 20 and 35 years old. Essentially, what they're saying is they're doing away with the old and bringing in the new. The main goal of this Caracas 2030 is to have this young age group, again 20 to 35, spread propaganda and positivity about the fourth industrial revolution throughout Caracas in any way they can. This fourth industrial revolution being AI, an overabundance of tech. The physical manifestation of this fourth industrial revolution are the smart cities. And then you have energy management, you have safety, which is nothing more than mass surveillance. Autonomous cars, you don't want an autonomous car or you can't afford one. Well, there's always public transportation because we're doing away with these gas guzzlers. It's hard to sell this fourth industrial revolution to the older generation, generations that grew up in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. These are the people that are saying, well, I did not grow up with all this AI and tech back then. Why do I need it now? And it's not that we hate technology. I like technology a lot, but when it gets into the wrong hands, like in the hands of these technocrats, then it becomes completely out of control. So they're targeting the younger generation to sell this idea, which is nothing more than a digital prison. There's going to be a ton of pushback, and I'm sure that a lot of these young adults they had recruited for this program are reporting this pushback to the relevant actors who are behind this Project 2030. You know, the World Economic Forum and those like that. And we have seen time and time again what happens to those that push back. Those that do not want to give up their lands, those that do not want to change to a more technocratic society. Their hands are forced by quote unquote nature, whether it's a massive fire, a hurricane, or an earthquake. Lately, anytime we've seen a location that's been wiped out by quote unquote nature, there's a long-range transportation plan or a smart city pamphlet attached to it. But this gets even more interesting because take a look at this, and this is coming from chartercitiesinstitute.org, and this was posted on January 16th, 2026, and it's titled, "A Freedom City Can Benefit Venezuela and America with Prosperity and Peace." And it talks about how with the Maduro regime toppled, and again, we saw this back in 2013, Venezuela can now become a stable democracy. The blog talks about how the United States and this new Venezuela can have a better relationship going forward, and the only way to do so is to turn Venezuela into a freedom city. You can see right here it says the core objective for the Venezuelan people is a freedom city, a new city with better laws and regulations jointly administered by the US and Venezuelan governments can help attract investments, and I wonder who those investors would be, create jobs, and develop a stable path to achieving those objectives. A freedom city is still technically a smart city, even though they say they're different. When it comes to a freedom city, they want to deregulate zoning so they can change the landscape, just like a smart city, and it's also tech-driven. The blog ends with a vibrant and prosperous Venezuelan freedom city in Venezuela would facilitate Venezuela's transition away from the long-standing socialist regime and showcase to countries throughout the region what can be accomplished by partnering with the United States and embracing economic freedom, all without risking American lives and expending vast fortunes like in forever wars of the past 2 decades. This sounds awfully similar to what we're seeing in the World Economic Forum's Caracas agenda. And what's the best way not to risk any American lives or get involved in any forever wars, but to devastate a location with multiple earthquakes? Nothing about this feels natural at all, and you can find multiple articles online about how Venezuela needs freedom cities, smart cities, mainly Caracas, and one of the main issues they have when it comes to building these smart cities is a lot of the older infrastructure. People over in Venezuela reported seeing very strange lights in the sky just a day prior to these massive earthquakes. Take a look at this.
Y para allá no hay nube, mira. ¿Qué es eso,
Yo creo que esta vaina son los extraterrestres, marico. De pana, weón.
¿Qué es eso, chamo?
Los extraterrestres, weón. Están viendo, ¿no?
Mira esa vaina, chamo.
A ver. ¿Mm?
Creo que somos uno de los pocos que lo estamos viendo. Mira esa mierda. ¿Qué vaina es esa, vale?
De pana que no es normal, weón. ¿Estás viendo? ¿Estás viendo?
Mira eso.
¿Quién lo está viendo?
Mira,
No
mira,
sé.
mira.
¿Quién lo va? Mira, ¿estás viendo? Eso no es normal, weón. De pana.
Mira, 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 mira. Mira, Alexander, mira. Mira.
No vale.
Marico, ¿qué es eso, chamo?
No, me tírate la parte, ¿eh? ¿Estás viendo la parte? Mira, ¿eh? ¿Ah?
Esas sí parecen las luces de Fortentino buscando algo, ¿eh? Eso.
Sí, parece
What the
que
fuck
fueron
am I
las luces
looking at right
Fortuna
now?
Buscando algo.
Sí, sí, sí. Mira,
Debe ser que lo vieron también.
mira, ¿está viendo? Se activaron las luces de Fortuna, ¿eh? ¿Está viendo? ¿Está viendo que se activaron? Ahí es que por ese lado queda Fortuna.
What experts say that these people saw are a phenomenon known as earthquake lights. Now, these scientists say that these earthquake lights are not fully understood and they do not appear during every earthquake. Gee, I wonder why. Like, for example, this was captured in the sky above Turkey back in 2023, just right before their massive 7.8 magnitude earthquake. Does this look natural to you? Does this look like something that's naturally forming?
What the fuck?
And I made a video back in 2023
That's
on these
bonkers,
exact lights,
dude.
but earthquake lights as a whole as well. And still to this day, nobody really knows much information about them. These lights were seen in Morocco just right before their massive 6.9 magnitude earthquake. And as you can see, they're always different. Throughout March and April of 2026, multiple people near Turkey and Greece captured these lights in the skies during smaller earthquakes near the Aegean Sea, and people thought that these were either angels or proof of a simulated world or even some form of manipulation, but scientists came out and said, no, what these people are seeing are earthquake lights. And shout out to the paranormal chick because she posted this video someone had taken around the same time as this earthquake in Venezuela where these shadow-like entities can be seen in the sky. Now, I wouldn't doubt if it was these black flying things I've been talking about on all my channels for quite some time now, because they always seem to come to a location just right before or after disaster strikes. Like, for example, they're all over the skies during the LA fires, the white ones and the black ones, which LA also has the 2028 Smart City Initiative as well. Again, just none of this seems natural, and talking about something not being natural, more and more locations, especially in the United States, are still having junkyard fires. Like, for example, over in Idaho on the 17th, a family-owned salvage yard, L&L Classic Auto, that's been there since the 1960s, went up in flames and they lost practically everything. And I mean, they've been there since the 1960s, and as coincidence may have it, as we're transitioning into these cars, where AI will be taking over, even telling us when we can and cannot drive, they lose all their inventory.
This is L&L Classic Auto. It's been around since the 60s.
For L&L manager Jesse Johnson, Wednesday's median fire was more than just a normal brush fire.
Oh my God.
It was a wall of destruction.
We had 10,000 cars.
Oh
And
my
if you look
God.
at 90% of the inventory, we probably lost 9,000. There's not one part of this yard that wasn't affected somehow by this fire.
Jesse says once the fire started to approach Highway 46, fueled by the wind, things escalated quickly.
I started coming up the main road, and I ran into several vehicles. It got where I couldn't see, I couldn't breathe. I seen a left, I took it, I went out through the desert with the rollback. I got my car and the other rollback out.
Beyond losing an estimated 9,000 cars, the fire also took out the office with all of the records and a new tow shop. And according to Jesse, this might mean the end for L&L.
This here might cripple this business
Might?
forever. I just don't know yet until we get some of the debris off the ground and figure out what's going on.
Adding to the frustration, ensuring a salvage yard is almost impossible.
Insurance every year has been going up, and there's no way to insure junk cars sitting in the yard. We jump through hoops just so we can keep the insurance on the building. So we are not going to be collecting any money from insurance companies. We're not making millions of dollars out of this. All we're getting is a lot of hard work.
Now, under a new day's sun, Jesse is still processing what happened.
I went to home last night, took a bath, was hoping it was just a dream. Came in this morning, obviously it wasn't a dream, it's for real. L&L Classic might not be in business anymore.
While obviously mourning the business, all Jesse can think about at this time is his friend and owner of L&L, 90-year-old Larry Harms.
90 years old, he's hard of hearing now. It's a little bit hard to get him
If
to
they
wrap
put
his
a
head
data
around
center
what's
there,
happened.
I'm
I'm
gonna
sure
lose my
that he's
mind.
probably reeling over this. If this don't kill Larry, it'll damn sure try.
But in true Idaho fashion, when life knocks you down, you don't quit. You wake up the next morning and grab your boots.
In the light of day, you got to come in here and put on your boots and get back to work and try and salvage something of this mess.
The Gooding County Transfer Station also lost the structure in the fire, losing their administrative building. They will be closed until further notice, until damage can be properly assessed. Reporting in Wendell, I'm your neighborhood reporter, Joey Martin, Idaho News 6.
It's sad, it's horrible, but this is what they're doing. They're taking the order out. Take a look at this. A week after this junkyard fire, Rio Linda Salvage Yard fire damages 15 vehicles, Sacramento Metro Fire says. Apparently, what's coming out is that an electric vehicle had caught fire, and it took out a bunch of older vehicles surrounding it. 3 days ago, this is coming out of Georgia on June 23rd, multiple vehicles catch fire in Houston County junkyard, and they're saying they have absolutely no idea what could have caused this fire.
And a Houston County junkyard is recovering after dozens of cars caught fire yesterday afternoon. Go ahead and take a look at these pictures from Robins Air Force Base's fire department. They say they helped put the fire out using over 10,000 gallons of water and 250 gallons of foam. No one was hurt.
There has been so many junkyard fires this past couple months, it is insane. You have some news agencies like this one right here early this month releasing articles that just say America's junkyards are on fire. Point blank period, that's it. The goal is to make these older parts for these cars unattainable, so when they break down, people just say, you know what, I'll just get a newer car. But moving on, I saw this clip off Matrika's channel, and yeah, this might just be Australia and some other countries, but soon enough, in a couple years, this will be the norm worldwide, especially in the States.
I still can't believe how many people don't realize, but you actually can't walk into an Australian supermarket anymore without facial recognition machine deciding how much of a criminal you are. Bunnings scanned the faces of hundreds of thousands of Australians across 63 stores, and the Privacy Commissioner ruled that it actually broke the law. Even Kmart was doing it. Every customer at the returns counter across 28 stores, face captured, run against the database, and the regulator found that it's illegal too. But the part you need to be worried about is that Bunnings actually appealed the ruling and a tribunal said they can keep using it. So basically it's been legalized. Now when you walk into Coles or Woolies, cameras on the ceiling assign you a digital ID and they track you down every single aisle. The self-checkout even films you scanning a lemon and it plays it back to an AI so that it can decide if you've been honest or not. One Woolies store actually put 500 mini cameras on the shelf, and Coles even hired Palantir, which is the same surveillance company the military uses to crunch your data. So how many of you knew that? I'm not even finished. The smart gates, it locks you inside until the AI decides that you've paid for everything. Theft is the reason they give every single time, but investors were actually told that cutting theft back to previous levels could lift Coles' profit by up to 9%. So this was never really about keeping you safe. It was chasing the money, basically. Except now you're the product, the suspect, and the checkout worker all at once. Welcome to 2026, where being treated like a data point instead of a human is the new normal. And the law isn't ready to protect us yet either.
And over in the United States, and I'm sure some other countries as well, we're already getting carts with cameras in them in certain stores. I saw this also off of Barry Stepp's channel.
Grocery stores just officially started rolling out a brand new AI grocery cart that has cameras on it that watches every single thing that you grab and tracks every single aisle that you walk down. These are actually Instacart's caper carts, and they've got a camera not only pointed directly at your basket, but also another one facing right at you, plus scales and location tracking built right into the handle. These carts or buggies are already in over 100 cities across 15 different states right now in stores like Kroger, ShopRite, and Weigman. They're saying that these carts watch everything that you put in it and tracks your exact spot in the store the entire time that you're shopping. Brands like General Mills are currently paying to give you ads the second that you grab something or walk past the aisle, and it runs on AI that's trained on 1.6 billion different grocery orders. Then people asked Instacart how long they keep the footage, whether or not it's running facial recognition on you or not, and then whether you can turn it off and still use the cart, but they wouldn't answer any of it. Hello? So happening right now, they are literally putting cameras on your face at the grocery store that knows what you buy, where you stood, and how you reacted to every single ad. But nobody's gonna tell you where that's going.
This dystopian 1984 on steroid society that we're all living in is not just for a select few, but for everyone.
Largest data center in Massachusetts.
It's nicknamed by a lot of residents in the neighborhood the dungeon, because it seriously is just this black building that looms over us.
The Markley Data Center in Lowell. It's a mammoth digital warehouse storing everything from your text messages, to your medical files. Jake Fortes might be its biggest critic. This blue house is his childhood home. The building has 27 emergency generators with smokestacks. Jake claims they send fumes toward his home, and he says the rows of air conditioning units on the roof are always humming.
That's a constant.
There are coast-to-coast concerns about what these data centers can do to the environment, from the massive amount of energy they use to the incredible amount of water they need to keep all of the equipment cool. But the owners of this data center say it is not a drain on resources. I asked Markley for a tour of that data center, which they never do. That's Adam Burnham. He's the corporate vice president for Markley and our tour guide. How many servers do you have here in this building?
There must be thousands from hundreds of different customers.
And how much data is stored here?
To use technical terms, it would be petabytes.
Just 1 petabyte is equal to roughly 250 million photos, or the storage capacity of 250,000 smartphones, or 13 years worth of continuous high-definition movies. We can't bring the cameras in this room.
So you're going to see in here servers, routers, switches, equipment from all different types of companies.
This is what a rack of servers looks like at WBZ. Picture thousands of them. To keep them cool, some data centers use up to 5 million gallons of water every single day. Here? So are you using millions of gallons of water here?
It's possible. I don't know the numbers.
Another criticism of data centers is that once construction is done, they don't create a lot of jobs. How many employees do you have working here?
Right now, it's a little bit of a slow period, probably about a dozen.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right. Antonellis said he really wants Markley to expand, to create construction jobs. And they are buying up nearby homes and land, including this old power plant up the road. But Lowell just recently voted for a 1-year moratorium on data centers. No building, no expansion. Back to our tour. The final stop was to listen to the emergency generators that neighbors like Jake had complained about. You're saying this is as loud as it gets?
So it's not under complete load, but this is the typical noise you're going to get.
But you think it's not making the noise that the neighbor is complaining about?
Correct.
You think he's exaggerating?
I think they're exaggerating, yes.
Of course, the guy working at the data center was intentionally vague with all the answers he was given to the questions he was asked, so I'll go ahead and answer those for you. The data center has provided only about 12 jobs when it promised about 100 jobs. If we look at the water usage, he said he didn't know. It looks like they're using about 120,000 gallons per day over the past year, so that's quite a bit of water. Not as much as some of the 5 million ones, but that's still a lot of water. And how much power are they using? They're using about the equivalent of about 40,000 homes, so that's a good amount of power. So the residents really haven't gotten anything for having this big data center in their backyards and having to deal with the sound pollution and the actual pollution coming out of those stacks. But speaking of the sound pollution, I looked up how loud that would be. It said it would likely be about 60 decibels. So if we look at what that's equivalent to, it's about the equivalent of a television playing at a comfortable volume or a standard business office. So it's not incredibly loud, but it's definitely loud enough to be annoying if you live there.
It's just more proof that these data centers are not for AI, but for keeping mass data on the public. Any little bit of information they need, they have stored. But I also strongly think too that these data centers have multiple purposes, and one of them is funneling resources, water to the underground below.
Well, what a way just to end it, man. Remember when we used to get 6,000 people in here? That was cool, wasn't it? Oh, look at this new game that's coming out.
You just want to do your job, but are you like a bull in a china shop? Your co-workers are not going to like that. Try to be careful. Silence is golden. Sometimes even a janitor has work to do where other people are around. That's okay. Just try to stay in the dark or out of sight so you don't disturb others. Be discreet, be invisible, be efficient. Janitor work can be deadly, especially in such troubled times. But don't you worry. Helodome Chambers can rebuild you from the ground up, reshaping your very genes. Cloning errors? It happens. Panic? No need. Just locate your previous body and suck out its fresh, crispy genes. In moments, you'll be whole again. Flawless. Perfect. Isn't that wonderful? This message was brought to you by the board.
This game looks fun as hell.
We'll be such a great team.
You know what I wish?
What's up, guys and gals?
I wish we had the ability to get Steam games that we buy and then put them on cartridges. You know what I mean?
Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be checking out a title that's heavily inspired by System Shock called Retro Space. I played around with about the first 30 minutes of the demo or so just to get a feel for whether or not it was going to be worth featuring. And honestly, I think they've got a lot of pieces in the right spots here. I think the game definitely has a style and a flavor and an atmosphere that is all its own. It's sort of like a pseudo 1970s Burt Reynolds mustache and space gun-wielding adventure where you're the janitor of a space station where the apocalypse has happened. So today we're going to take a look at the game for about 30 minutes. We're going to see if it's something you wanted to add to your wish list or one of those games that's just not for you. That's also perfectly fine. If after watching this you did want to get the game, I got a link for you down below in the description, and on top of that there's a bunch of Nerdcastle links down there that are hot and ready and waiting for your sultry click. But without further ado, let's go ahead and start off a new game.
Remember, the Golden Journey serves the interest of all humanity. We set out on this voyage to find a new homeland for all of us. We chose the most exceptional individuals for this mission, including you. Be proud that you are part of humanity's greatest venture.
Happy Rev! Question, did y'all get an alert? Did y'all see me live, or did y'all type my name in to see if I was live?
Alright, well, quick awakening right here. Is this door open? What are we looking at the moment? We can go down this way. What's this terminal do? Can I interact with it? I'm expecting all kinds of MSIM elements here. Looks like the door is actually already open, so I don't really want to lock it or close it or anything.
Right now we're watching this guy get early access to Retro Space. It looks like System Shock and like Dark Souls.
Else, please be quiet. Okay, well, I can't see a damn thing anyways, so, like, we might as well get moving. Looks like we were in some kind of, like, outboard station moving now through a sky bridge. Oh, there's people out there in the vacuum just kind of hugging each other as the world ends. I mean, you know, I think it's a worthwhile, if you gotta go out, that's a little bit heartwarming, right? They'd be like, oh, dude, that's kind of cute. Was that a flashlight? Hell yeah, let's turn that thing on.
Hello, cowboy. Welcome to the medical section. If I'm not mistaken, a certain Dr. Nebula has been in contact with you. Good. For now, we have a mutual goal. Get to Professor Hammond's office and unlock the quarantine lockdown. After that, you and I will be alone for a while.
Don't like that. I don't know if I want to be alone with you. Like, there's people to be alone with, and there's people not to be alone with, and I haven't verified your status in that overall paradigm yet. Let's see. We've got a universe cleaner. Do I want that? Like, how is this helpful to me? Do I desire to have this? Okay, we picked up 20 water. I mean, it reloads like a gun, so there's that. So, like, if the monsters come for me, am I just going to, like, shoot them in the face like a bad cat and just be like, ah? You know, like, is that what the goal is here? What does this thing do? A helodome. What does that do? Heal surface injuries, treat serious injuries, gene reconstruction, so I can get rid of my gene and cloning errors. Do I have any of those? I don't know if I've been cloned properly. Is there another device that'll verify that for me? What's going on down here? So the ladder broke. We got crates over on this side. Okay, well, from the left to the right, an ox helmet.
No, it's door dashing. Trust me, if you knocked on my trailer, the whole neighborhood would hear it because Harvey and Pearl would bark their faces off.
For your safety.
All right. Well, thank you for the helmet. Apparently, that's where my UI comes from, so I guess I'll take it. We've got a Susie small gun over here. Dude, that looks like, what was the name? There was a gun that looked just like this from like the 60s or the 70s where it looked precisely like that. And it's like a super rare gun nowadays that collectors really, really want one of. I can't remember the name of it, but I definitely recognize the overall chassis of the pistol. So we've got ourselves like a low pistol right there with like 6 bullets. Okay, well, reloader. I don't know if it's going to help. Audio log? Oh, it's just like a little Pip-Boy that we can use to review our objectives and things that we're trying to do. So our main missions are find out what happened. We got to find Dr. Hammond's office. And then on the secondary side, we've got who is Dr. Nebula? Okay. Well, I mean, we'll keep an eye out for it. Is there any reason? Can I loot that dead guy right there? Can I like, oh, look at that. You can clean up the blood, dude. Okay. With these right here, is there any reason to get behind these? I wasn't really paying attention when I...
That's not the guy I want to watch as my live streamer. That's for damn sure. He's almost to 1 million subs. Wow. I'd rather watch JD Vance do this. Woo! Yeah! Go JD!
Remember this.
No.
If older
I ain't gonna
people-
remember any of that shit. I probably got 7 copyright claims just for that. What? Super Metroid Cryogenesis? What the hell is that? I gotta hear the sound. Shoot right there! You can go forward! Trust me, I know this game! Right now, it's like you gotta decide if you want to play AAA or user-made content. If you want to play user-made content, probably get a computer. If you want AAA garbage that's woke, get a console. 2 times? Why would I do that? You won't go outside? You just got in here. I don't want to play that 2 times. That's shit, Alan Teddy. Meow. Fuck it, let's just play Super Metroid tonight.
Open your eyes.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Let's get after it.
A massive dust cloud, thousands and thousands of miles large, is headed towards the United States. Yeah, so this dust cloud, which came from the Sahara Desert, is over the Atlantic Ocean on the way to the U.S., starting in the southeastern United States and going up the coast. Now, nobody really knows for sure what's in that dust, but obviously it came from sand that's in the desert. But there's a big problem if this goes over the U.S., especially the southeastern United States. Because of the rain, the tropical storms, the possible hurricanes in the area, could take all that dust, which you shouldn't even be breathing anyway, and bring it down to Earth, down to the land itself, and whatever those particles are that's in it will now be on the ground where you walk, you drive, or whatever you do. And like I said, this cloud of dust on its way to the U.S. is thousands and thousands of miles large. Who knows what this could do to farmland, animals, or people? Hopefully it just all flies over and it doesn't really affect our breathing, at least too much. But you never know, because this isn't really something anybody plans for. I'll keep you updated if I hear anything new. Till next time, shabadoo booshkies, shabadoo.
I don't really know if this is something that we should be that concerned with, but the phrase lung-penetrating particles doesn't sound too promising. It looks like this is mostly going to impact Florida, which is unfortunate because unless this clears out within the next few weeks, I'm actually planning on going to Florida with my family to visit my sister-in-law.
Why?
So there's at least a slight chance that I'm going to get caught in the middle of this. But I just added this to sort of give a heads up to anyone who may be potentially impacted by it. It may not be a bad idea to just get a mask and keep it in the car just in case.
Jennifer Vasquez says this is a Ruben.
You can get a mask, but what you need is like air canisters or filters.
Terrell, she wants people to remember a 25-year-old who loved fishing, working with his hands, and spending time outdoors. He had just opened a new tire shop with his father and was preparing to welcome their first child. Then last July, everything changed.
My 25-year-old fiance
went from just a normal independent individual to a coma and disabled in a matter of 72 hours.
Vasquez says it started with what looked like a simple illness.
First day, he slept all day. That's not like him. He's very outgoing and loves to be outside and on the go.
But within days, his condition rapidly deteriorated.
He's in the house trying to walk and he's just stumbling, hitting his head on the walls, falling down to the floor.
The family rushed him to the hospital. Doctors initially searched for answers, but then she got the phone call no one wants to get.
Hey, we just had to put Ruben in a medically induced coma. He just had a seizure. And I freak out.
7 days later, the family learned Ruben had Rocky Mountain spotted fever, a tick-borne illness that doctors said had affected his brain, spine, and other parts of his body.
So after Ruben went into a coma on July 21st, August 7th, I had my daughter Zendaya. He missed the birth, but we had the baby in the same hospital, so I felt a bit better.
Today, Ruben is continuing his recovery and rehabilitation.
As of right now, we had to get him moved over to Meadowbrook Rehabilitation Hospital in Gardner, Kansas. He can't feel from mid-chest down. He's wheelchair bound.
Vasquez says there was never a known tick bite and no classic rash. Now she's sharing their story so other families don't ignore the warning signs.
Take it very serious.
Did you ever check your man for
it couldn't
ticks?
happen to us, and it did.
Hearing stuff like this.
I have asked a few girls to check me for ticks, and they laugh and go, ew, no. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to remember that. A real one will check you for ticks.
This is absolutely terrifying because there's really not even a way for you to ensure that you're not going to get bit by one of these ticks whenever you go out in your yard. And you can get a tick bite and not even realize it until days later. And with something like this, at that point, the damage would be done. It'd be too late to do anything about it. But before we go on to the next clip, I've just got to say, it is not very often that you see someone going through a severe, unexpected illness like this that's this young, and their significant other actually sticks it out and stays with them. A lot of women today would have just left that guy. Looks like this dude chose well. You don't see many people putting their partner's needs above their own nowadays.
Grocery stores just officially started rolling out a brand new AI grocery cart that has cameras on it that watches every single thing that you grab and tracks every single aisle that you walk down. These are actually Instacart's caper carts, and they've got a camera not only pointed directly at your basket, but also another one facing right at you, plus scales and location tracking built right into the handle. These carts or buggies are already in over 100 cities across 15 different states right now in stores like Kroger, ShopRite, and Wegmans. They're saying that these carts watch everything that you put in it and tracks your exact spot in the store the entire time that you're shopping. Brands like General Mills are currently paying to give you ads the second that you grab something or walk past the aisle, and it runs on AI that's trained on 1.6 billion different grocery orders. Then people asked Instacart how long they keep the footage, whether or not it's running facial recognition on you or not, and then whether you can turn it off and still use the cart, but they wouldn't answer any of it. Hello? So happening right now, they are literally putting cameras on your face at the grocery store that knows what you buy, where you stood, and how you reacted to every single ad. But nobody's gonna tell you where that's going.
At least with something like this, if you walk into a grocery store and grab one of these carts, you're gonna know what's up. You know you're being filmed. So at least they aren't trying to hide the fact that they've got all these cameras pointed at you. And I don't like stuff like this. I'm completely against the direction that all these grocery stores are headed in. But at least with something like this, you can just simply choose to not use it. Granted, if you have to go in and shop for a full week's worth of groceries, and this is the grocery store that you typically use, if that's the only type of cart they offer, then that could be an issue. But if you're just running in to grab 4 or 5 things, grab a basket and don't use one of those carts. But I think the only way we're going to be able to stop them from just having only this as an option in every grocery store is to just simply refuse to use them. They're not going to invest more money into buying more of these carts if the ones that they've already purchased aren't being used by customers. If everyone refuses to use one of those carts because they don't want a camera pointed at their face while they're grocery shopping, they'll stop buying them. But if everyone gets on board with using these things and they become the new normal, you're going to see them in every grocery store in every county across the entirety of the United States.
Scientists say your consciousness can jump through time, meaning the gut feelings you have are basically memories from the future. So that means your gut feelings might not be feelings at all. they might actually be a memory. And if that's true, then everything that we've been taught about time is completely wrong. Every single person watching it has experienced it. You know times when you know something is about to happen, but you can't explain why, and then out of nowhere, it happens. They're basically saying it's a possibility that your consciousness isn't moving through time the way you think it is. Now think about this. Have you ever got a feeling so strong that you changed the plans you had because of it? Now imagine finding out that came from the future you. And that's when you think about deja vu. But maybe deja vu isn't just a glitch. Maybe it's evidence.
There's deja vu, and then there's also remembering past. There's also like remembering memories that never happened. And I made up a term for that, but people just think I'm crazy, and I may be crazy, but act like you don't remember something that you thought happened that never did.
Evidence that the part of your mind has already...
It wasn't like from a TV or nothing, you know what I mean?
...been where you're about to go. I went down that rabbit hole, and this is where it gets deep. Scientists are actually studying whether consciousness can interact with time in ways we don't fully understand. And some researchers are even exploring whether the human mind can react to future events before they occur. Because when you start looking at questions that govern reality, something strange happens. Time doesn't always behave the way we was taught. In many areas of physics, time isn't as simple as past, present, and future moving in a straight timeline. Think about that strange feeling you get before the phone rings, like you know something's gonna happen. Think about that dream that you had that came true. Think about the moment you knew something was wrong before anybody told you. What if those moments are glimpses? Like tiny pieces of information that's leaking through the cracks. And that's the part that keeps me thinking. Because if time isn't truly linear, and if consciousness isn't completely trapped in the present, then maybe intuition isn't some mystical power at all. Maybe it's information. Maybe your mind is constantly picking up signals from the future version of yourself. The biggest mystery is how many times the future has already tried to show itself to us. And we didn't listen. I'm out.
I think it's really interesting that they're proposing this theory when, for my entire life, essentially, since I was about 7 or 8 years old, I've had a very similar theory to what they're trying to explain here. So I came up with this theory whenever I was a kid about how time works because this is genuinely the only reason I was even thinking about this at such an early age, is I would have routinely dreams that would come true. And it would be sometimes little stuff like my aunt coming into the living room when I didn't know that my aunt was even at the house. And I would have a dream that my aunt would be entering the living room, and then a 2-3 week time period would pass and I would be sitting in the living room, and suddenly I would feel this overwhelming sense of deja vu, and I would say to my mother at the time, "Hey, Aunt Deidre's fixing to show up." And then within a few minutes, she would just walk into the house. And no one even knew that she was coming over. And I would experience stuff like this all the time. And so that's what got me thinking about this concept of how does time actually work? Or how do we perceive time really? But the idea that I came up with is that everything is literally happening all at once. Or everything that will happen has happened. Everything that has happened will happen, which is a bit more of a confusing way to put it, but think about time as a circle instead of a straight line. And the entirety of your existence takes place within this circle of events. You're experiencing this circle as if there is a starting point and an ending point. But this is just simply the way that your brain processes time. And so when you're asleep and essentially your guard is down, I theorized that on occasion, a moment that you have not yet experienced will reveal itself to you. So I think that deja vu could be potentially just an instance of your mind allowing you access to something that you've already done that just simply hasn't happened yet. And so when we're getting this glimpse into the so-called future, you're actually experiencing a memory of something that you have done, but the way that your brain processes the passage of time, you just aren't yet aware of that experience. Y'all let me know if I explained that well, or if I just confused everybody watching this video.
There's an AI bubble because all the big companies are just funding each other with promises of cash that doesn't really exist. So let me explain. I actually built this little website to map it out because I just wanted to show visually how the same money is being passed around, but there's mostly no actual cash. It's just a bunch of IOUs kind of cancelling each other out, and it's all based on the premise that there's going to be huge revenue growth to actually prop all of this up. But no one really knows if that's going to happen. So for example, Nvidia is putting up to $100 billion into OpenAI, but they're just using that money to buy Nvidia chips. And that's a typical example of this weirdly circular economy. And as you click on each company's bubble to see who they're connected with, or you can click on the connection lines to see the reciprocal flow of cash commitments, you'll see that it's often commitments of cash going one way and then commitments of something else like computer hardware or computing resources going the other way. Now to some extent, these companies are actually starting to own each other. A good example is AMD, which makes chips, giving OpenAI a warrant for 10% of their company for free, but in return, OpenAI agreed to buy AMD chips. So like the customer is owning their supplier. You've even got competitors investing in each other. So Google and Amazon have committed a combined $70 billion plus to Anthropic, which makes Claude, and in turn, Anthropic has committed over $100 billion back to Amazon's training chips and another huge chunk to Google's TPU chips. The problem is, Bain reckons that the AI industry needs to bring in $2 trillion a year by 2030 to justify all this spending, and they're currently about $800 billion short. No one can really explain where that's going to come from. ChatGPT and Claude have about $55 billion in revenue between them right now, and OpenAI's losses this year are projected to be about $14 billion. So this is what people mean when they say we're in an AI bubble. It's not that the tech doesn't work or it's not useful, it's that the spending is being justified by revenue that doesn't exist yet. And a lot of these deals are circular, so they are numbers on paper, but not cash in the bank. Anyway, again, you can click around this at AIcirculareconomy.com. Hope you find it interesting. I'm just trying to create a place to document this as simply as possible.
Just on the face of it, does this not look like the world's largest example of open-air money laundering? When you're dealing with tens or sometimes even hundreds of billions of dollars, and you're just bouncing that money back and forth throughout these same like 10 or 12 companies, how easy would it be for some of that money to go missing? I'm betting that there are at least a few people in this whole situation here that are just lining their pockets with money that everyone thinks is being used to fund AI. I feel like if that's not being looked into, someone's dropping the ball. But I think my biggest concern is what is going to happen when this AI bubble bursts? What kind of impact is this going to have on the average person? And I can't help but to imagine that in the near future, we're going to have a lot of these AI data centers that they've built that are just sitting there empty, because it seems like they're building this stuff faster than they can determine that they actually have a use for it, just simply because everyone wants to be the guy at the top. So there's this big race to the finish line happening, and we don't even know yet if all of these data centers that they're building are going to be needed. Most of these are being built with intentions on leasing them out to a company that needs that resource. So when this AI bubble bursts and those companies no longer exist, how many of these massive multi-million square foot completely useless buildings are going to be littered across the landscape? This whole AI thing has turned out to be a disaster, and we still don't even know where it's going yet.
In order to collaborate on a large scale, you need to convince everybody to believe in the same story. What really the engine of history is stories. And they don't even need to be true. Some of the most powerful stories in history were fictions.
Right.
But you need to get everybody, or at least a significant part of the population, to believe in the same story. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Science is not really, at least this is my view as a historian, science is not really about truth. It's about power. The real aim of science as a project, as an establishment, is not truth, it's power. Particular individuals, particular scientists may be very interested in the truth, personally. But as an institution, the real aim of science is power. Those who own the data really own the future. We are reaching a point in human history that we have enough biological knowledge and we have enough computing power, and all you need in order to systematically hack millions of people is just the data. That to hack people means to know people better than they know themselves. To somebody in San Francisco, in Beijing, knows you, knows more about you than you know about yourself. about your medical condition, about your mental weaknesses, things that you did 5 years ago, 20 years ago, you completely forgot about them, they know it.
Right.
This is something we never faced before. Not even the KGB could do it.
Right.
And we are already beginning to see the emergence of such total surveillance regimes in places like Xinjiang, in places like in my own home country in Israel. We have this big laboratory of surveillance called the Occupied Territories, where you have 2.5 million guinea pigs of how to completely survey and control a population with very few soldiers. I mean, when you look at the numbers, it's amazing how few soldiers you need to control millions of people if you have their data.
That's a clip that everyone needs to see at least once. There are still far too many people out there who do not understand that we are under attack by these elites. People still don't realize that there is an active attempt playing out right now to completely control every human being on the planet. And that's infuriating when you see videos like this and realize these people aren't even trying to hide it. But because most people will not stray outside of mainstream media, which these people completely own and control, they're never going to hear any of this. They're only hearing the approved narrative. But based on what this guy's saying, I don't think that their only intention is to move us into these 15-minute cities and control where we're located. I don't think they're going to be satisfied until they have control over our actual thoughts.
Antarctica, arguably one of the most mysterious places on the map. A place that I've made quite a few
on the map
videos about, as well as a ton of other creators. But this rabbit hole, I've yet to see anybody go down. And it's a bit of a dark ride, so get ready. The reason we're here is because back in April, they discovered a unknown island in Antarctica.
New island. Well, sort of. International researchers were mapping the seafloor around Antarctica when they found what they called a dirty iceberg. Turns out it's actually an island, only revealed now as glaciers and ice melt. It's about the size of a soccer field. Unlike the Arctic, Antarctica has long had stable sea ice, but in the past 10 years, this has changed.
So, couple things. Since the treaty was signed in 1959,
no.
This is supposedly one of the most researched and protected areas in the world. They're blaming this on ice melt and climate change. But wasn't the danger rising seas? And then, of course, there's how a couple days ago, a chunk of ice the size of Texas just disappears. But I guess we'll just add that to the mysteries and hidden secrets of Antarctica. Now, before I turn this corner, I want you to understand that these are scientists, some of the most educated people on the planet. Will somebody tell me why there's a long-standing and ongoing history of harassment at some of these bases in Antarctica? Threats and physical assault.
Antarctica, there was an external review that's been conducted into...
Y'all never did see that documentary where it was like Antarctica, but it's like people's up there alone for a long time. And, you know, some situations happen. And it's like, did you think that wouldn't happen?
What's happening here, and its summary is pretty distressing reading, to be honest with you. It has women reporting unwanted physical contact and gestures, uninvited invitations for that.
What, who are you supposed to hit on? A seal? You supposed to say, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to see if you wanted to come back to my place for drinks. Sorry that made you uncomfortable for me just simply asking. Come on.
Widespread is a pretty strong title. It's so bad to the point that these women researchers realized nobody was coming to save them, so they armed themselves with hammers. Stuck with the man she feared would her and armed herself with the hammer at all times. And when something like this happens...
I have a feeling some of these people, though, are like the fat chick that I just delivered DoorDash for that locked her car door and did the siren just because I walked by it going to my car after I delivered her food for less than $1 for an entire hour of work.
They just remove the aggressor and have him go work with kids.
Scientists working in the Antarctic have reportedly made a desperate appeal for help after they say a colleague threatened to kill one of them. The South African team are totally isolated at the remote research base, thousands of miles from South Africa. Winter is fast approaching, and that means it will be months before the team can be changed.
Here's some interesting connections when it comes to Antarctica that's maybe some food for thought. Antarctica is an isolated place, but you can pay a lot of money for a cruise to take you there. Like Disney will take you on a cruise ship there. But considering what happened back in May, when a big majority of the Disney cruise staff got busted for child, I wouldn't go on any Disney cruises. But see, that's where that Disney thing's interesting. But this company, Ponant Cruise Liners, is another one of the only ones that'll take you to Antarctica. And that company is owned by the Ponant family. This is the billionaire family from France that now owns Balenciaga, Gucci. You remember Balenciaga, the ones that were in hot water back in 2022 for the nasty bondage bears and kids ad campaign that they went with. This whole thing, like, why? And then there's Gucci, which, if you remember back in 2021, the granddaughter came out and said she had been for 16 years from a family member. She even won a $115 million settlement because of it. But see, this isn't the only thing she exposed. Just like Macaulay Culkin, she came out and said that are the true religion of the elite family bloodlines. Well, that's an interesting statement, because the family that owns Gucci and Balenciaga and the cruise ship that goes to Antarctica also has a private investment firm called Artemis. And Artemis owns CAA, the Creative Art Agency, a talent agency mostly based in California. And it came out that the CAA was heavily involved with Jeffrey Epstein on multiple different occasions. Now, this is the part where I ask you, what's really going on in Antarctica? Because did you know that back in March, a Florida man was convicted of to Antarctica?
Really?
Yeah, me neither. It's interesting, isn't it? Y'all stay safe.
Those are quite a few details to...
So, who's worse? The ones asking if the women up in Antarctica want to come back for a drink are the ones porting up underage party people.
Try to process all at once. There are multiple reasons that I added this video. For one, we know that these elites love their symbolism. It seems like one of their favorite things to do is to take the name of some ancient satanic deity and plaster it on a new company, a rocket that they're planning on sending out into space, or they'll get really heavy-handed trying to force certain words together to try to form a specific acronym. And I found it interesting that we're seeing this word Artemis again, which we've all heard that word being used a lot lately because of the Artemis supposed moon mission. I only mention that to point out they're clearly all in the same group. Whoever's doing the shady stuff at NASA and whoever's doing the shady research stuff at Antarctica, they're all on the same team. They're all focused on worshiping and admiring these same ancient satanic deities. But considering who's running things, and considering what we've recently learned about these elites and the people that are controlling the world, wouldn't you kind of expect that there would be some sort of inappropriate sexual behavior taking place at these research facilities? I think the most shocking part about that story is that it actually got reported on, because you would think they would be very specific in their selection process when it came time to choose who was going to go to these research facilities. You would think that they would intentionally seek out individuals who were going to be on board with their agenda, people who are as equally messed up in the head as them. And on top of that, as remote as these facilities are, as far away from everything as they are, It probably wouldn't be that difficult to make someone just disappear if they were creating an issue. So I'm actually really surprised to see that this got reported on. You would think, with the way the government tends to handle their business, that they would have handled this in-house and no one would have ever heard about it. Meaning the individual who felt threatened would have probably never been heard from again. But the main reason I wanted to add this video is because it's just so dense with details. This guy did a really good job of putting together all of these suspicious connections. And I feel like this clip would be a really good resource for someone who's actively trying to dig into this subject. But isn't it odd that an organization such as NASA, whose sole intent is to deceive the public into believing that we live on a globe, they supposedly just sent men to the moon, and they did so on a rocket named Artemis, which is not a name you hear mentioned very often. And one of the men in charge of one of the research facilities in Antarctica just so happens to have a private equity firm named Artemis. Again, not a name you hear used very often. What are the odds of that? But guys and gals, I'm going to go ahead and end the video right there. I hope you enjoyed these clips we watched together today. God willing, I'll be back tomorrow with another one. I hope you come back to join me. Don't forget to click like.
I mean, Barry Stepp, if you're going to have that little enthusiasm about it, I guess I could just start fighting TikTok conspiracy videos and doing the same fucking thing. Meanwhile, this guy's crying he can make a living wage getting 47,000 views per video in long format. Come on, Barry. What's this guy saying? I have 20 years of YouTube
Hey there, folks.
failure.
Robert here, and as always, I am your geeky tipster, and I'm not a fan of drama. However, when something strikes a nerve with me, I'm not afraid to speak up.
It's hard to find an internet figure with more backstory than Tipster, who over the past 2 decades has made a name for himself on YouTube for all the wrong reasons. While the rotund individual has tried his hardest to be a legitimate influencer since the site's inception, as time has gone on, he's unfortunately been tied into the lolcow archetype, with behavior that many have deemed questionable, from defending inappropriate images of minors.
Nah, I'm good on that. My algorithm's all over the place, man.
Archaeology is often seen as an exact science of the past, but among its discoveries, there are some that don't fit the bigger picture. Strange artifacts, unexplained technologies, and places whose origins and purposes still have no clear answers. This is where the line between facts, theories, and speculation begins to blur, and our usual understanding of history starts to break down. Hello everyone, you're watching Peppercore, and today we're diving into the archaeology iceberg. Level 1, the Serapeum of Saqqara, an underground complex discovered in 1850 by the French archaeologist Auguste Mariette. During excavations in the desert, he noticed an object sticking out of the sand. After clearing the area, it turned out to be the entrance to an underground chamber. Further work revealed a network of burial rooms, which later became known as the Serapeum. The complex consists of a tunnel about 240 meters long, with chambers located along its sides. Inside them are 24 sarcophagi, each around 4 meters long and nearly 2.5 meters wide, weighing about 80 tons. The sarcophagi were carved from granite with remarkable precision and carefully placed inside the rooms. According to one of the main theories, these chambers were used for the burial of the sacred Apis bulls, animals that ancient Egyptians considered embodiments of a deity. However, when the sarcophagi...
I was watching one of these things last night, and they said there used to be giant cows with huge horns, and whenever they died, they'd mount the horns in their house.
Sarcophagi were examined, they were found to be empty, which led to many...
Guys, listen. The real question is, who wants to help me design a video game and make a video game on the Epic software? Who wants to embrace that journey with me? That's the real question. Why, GTA 6 has already been... So, Epic Software, right? It's, Unreal Engine. Let me bring it up. A second. So it's like this. They'll let you sell your game on the Epic Store, and the first $1 million is yours. Any money made after that first $1 million, they get a percentage of. So if I dedicated time to try to do this while door dashing and YouTubing, maybe I could get to be a millionaire that way. And since it's hard work, that means I'd have to win, right? Nope. Hold on a second. No, Valve and Epic are two different companies. They're two different gaming services. Epic owns Unreal Engine, which Valve plays the games of. You know what I mean? I bet they'll buy them out at some point. I'm pretty sure if the game is launchable, it can be carried over to Steam as well. You know what I mean? Like, you can play Fortnite on Steam, you know what I mean? A synthwave surf game? Maybe. That would sound... I wanted to make the Tower of Damocles. Let's put a surf minigame in it. Look, I'm making a video game. That's what happens when you don't have the bell click. Why ain't that working? Oh, bottom left. Hey! It's okay. Up, up, up. It's fireworks. Come on. Up, 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 up. Come on, Harvey! Up, up, up. Get up here. Hi, puppy. I didn't mean to French you, dude. Come on. You gonna help me? You gonna help me? You gonna help me be a video game mastermind? Huh? Huh? Yeah? Should we make a video game? Okay. You think we'll get rich? He's like, I don't know. He don't hear us talk about rich too much. Hey, easy, easy. Hey, shh. Shh. Hey, shut up. Pearl, shut the fuck up! Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, it's game design. It ain't easy. The outliner on the right lists all the objects in the row. Delete the one named blocking volume to clear the way. Okay. Where's the base color at? Haha! I made it see-through. Oh yeah, that'll be easy. I'll do that right now. I had to change the color of it. All right, here. Look, I made it move! I made it move! I did that! I gave it physics! I love this shit! Look! I'm trying to learn video games, and I made this ball have physics. That's been a title many times. Oh, that's cool. Can I add something? Yeah, let's add something. Let's add stars, and let's add that, and then let's add this. Where's the stupid star at? It'd be nice if it showed me where that shit was. Sure, whatever. Alright, I'll play. Boom! Holy shit. What's going on over here? Whoa! Random seed setting. Let's do 420, baby! Let's do 69 for 20. I'm gonna brush my teeth real quick.
Oh, everyone left? That makes sense. See if I did it right. That light should go green. Ha 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 ha! No, no, no! Ah. Wait, can I? Where's my actor at? I want to make my guy move faster. no, lightning, lightning, lightning. Right. Check, check, check. Bye. something for baby Eli. That baby Chewbacca's fucking creepy, dude. Have Ric Flair get in there.
I'm lagging out my video card, baby! I need another computer. I'm never gonna get that. Oh my God. Holy shit! Severe thunder watch, flood watch, baby. Hey, ain't no thunder, tornadoes though, thank God. I'm not used to seeing people not fat. Let's kind of take it back. This music's good. That's the only reason I don't want to end it. I'm going to see if my boys are on. We're going to see if 7 Days to Die.